I'm a big fan of Matlera.
I'm completely disappointed in Matlera.
Are you serious?
Completely.
I wasn't disappointed, but I expected more.
No.
The gear was good. Always looks nice on stage.
You can't arrive to
a selection of songs.
A Rugby World Cup with your hockey team.
Could have done better. Sorry, go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. What you're saying. You cannot arrive to a Rugby World Cup with a hockey team. He came to a Rugby World Cup with a hockey team. He was putting on a show as if this is State Theatre or Joburg Theatre or wherever, Klerksdorp Hall, City Hall or something like that. It's something that is for an intimate show or a personal show. You know what I mean? You're not there yet. And guys, like, especially for the young artists that are watching this, guys, you need to get to your level. I had a conversation with Usmaman as soon as he got off stage. MT was on stage, Roll Up was performing.
MT killed it too, bro. Yo.
I said to Usmaman, can you hear that song that's playing there that the crowd is screaming to? That song is 9 years old. Your song is number 1 on all the charts right now. It did not get that reaction. I also had a word with his engineer. I'm like, engineer, you've got the most important job. I was at the back by the sound booth and I couldn't hear this man on the mic. You understand? Your job is the most important. Your job is to make sure he's clear, not to make sure he's loud, not to make sure that the speakers are blaring, that cars traveling on the M1, overpass the Graf de Villiers are hearing or stopping in traffic. No, your job is to make sure that the crowd that is there hears this person clearly. They can hear the music, they can hear the vocal on top of it. You have to separate the backtrack from the vocal. Okay, fine, do that. Or create proper backtrack, proper live performance tracks. Do that. We can't have at the level of Usmamani right now in terms of where he is from a streaming perspective and all that stuff, for him to be giving not even a top 10 most noteworthy or memorable performance. You didn't even mention his performance out of the ones that you were just remembering top of mind. It was the classic performances, and that we understand.
I did. I started with him.
No. I'm talking about like having a great performance.
Oh,
you understand what I'm saying? You were talking about Abu Tebe. Yo, crazy. Your response to that. I'm just saying, Usbuda, as a Grot man, should be saying, yo, morning this mama, and I finally got to see him live, and yo, it was so exciting because, that's the Back to the City crowd. That's the real hip-hop crowd. So I wanted to see how he would do in front of that crowd. That's what we should be talking about right now. That should be our discussion right now. So I had that chat with him. I had another chat with his management team as well, because they were like, but you're hating on us, OG. And I'm like, yo, Bashanabam, there's no hating bone in my body. The mere fact that I mention the work that you guys do means that I care about it. That's a sign of love, number 1. And if I feel that you are falling short of standards that I see that you should be setting for yourselves, right? It means I've got high expectations of you. I've got high hopes of you. You know what I mean? You're not the class clown that I expect to fail every test. If you're getting 70 on the test, I'm going to berate you. You got 70 on the test. You're an A student. You should be getting at least 90 or close to it. You're an A student. That's my love for you. I cannot, as a loving person, sit silently while I see you be excited by the things that are very easy to notice. Like, so we got on Spotify charts. Spotify charts don't matter at Back to the City. It matters whether the crowd is shaking. Is the crowd shaking? Your Spotify chart numbers is not going to make that crowd shake. That's why a 9-year-old song, can you believe that Roll Up is 9 years old? It was released in June.
Remember you told me that last night. I was like,
2015.
when it was playing, you were like,
this is 9 years old.
This is 9 years old. I'm like, no, Roll Up is about 5-6 years old. You're like, no, 9 years. Remember 2015? I'm like, yo, has it been already a decade? You're like, no, 9 years.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's a decade. I'm like, wow. MT is in the game for a decade.
You understand that?
Yeah, but that song.
You understand what I'm saying?
The feedback, just the
now, when Roll Up dropped, that reaction was still the same.
No, true.
In fact, it was bigger 9 years ago. It's tapered down now, but I mean, it is still a big reaction. And that was the biggest song at that time. At the October Back to the City, back then, during that year, when A. Reese came through, the whole of Ambitious, they had a big performance, Sabo Fifi Cooper, everyone came through, right? Usmaman has got the number 1 song in hip-hop, number 1 song on Spotify, number 1 song on Apple Music. He had the number 1 album for 2 weeks or for almost, no, actually he had the number one song for 4 weeks. Yes, for 4 weeks. This is a month since his album was released. He just got replaced by the first female artist to take that number one spot, which is Makadzi, with her latest album. So she took the top spot. He's at number 2 this week. So I expect high standards, you know. So I broke it down in a number of formulas. I said to him, Smamane, let's keep us talking, Imalin. What, you know, this is 2,000 rands. So I'm like, okay, 2,000 rands. We calculated the minimum wage the last time. It's 27 rand an hour. So if I'm using my calculator because, you know, sometimes I'm a little less accurate than exact when I do I'm almost there, but you know, I want to be exactly accurate. So if I divide that by 27, that gives me 74 hours. All right. And then if I divide that by 8, because it's 8 hours in a day, right? Tells me how many working days. 9.3 working days. Takes 9 days to buy the t-shirt he was wearing. And I asked him, okay, fine, how much is a ticket to your show? Like when you're doing a show, it's like it's 250 to 300. So let's give him 270, right? So 270 divided by 27, because that's the minimum wage per hour, is 10. That's 10 hours. So how many days is that? Let's divide that by 8. That's 1.25 working days. You have to go to work today and come back tomorrow, you know, for the first quarter of the day. So 1 day and 2 hours, right? That's 1 day and 2 hours it costs to go watch Usmamane performing at minimum wage. That is South Africa. Now, I compare it with someone who's earning minimum wage in California, working at McDonald's, let's say. So that's $14 an hour times 17.5 right now, if we roughly average how much it would be to get what you call minimum wage in rand terms, right? That's 245 rands per hour, right? A ticket on average is $20. So if we're saying $20 times 17.5, you know, it's 350 rands. So it's a 350 rand. It's almost the same price. One is 270. One is, how many hours does it take for you to earn that $20 at $14 an hour? It takes you an hour and a half. That's how long it takes you to earn that. So Usmamane can sell a ticket in the United States for a McDonald's worker that gets paid for an hour and a half's work to be able to afford going to his show. A McDonald's worker in South Africa would have to work for a day and a quarter, a full day, and come in for another 2 hours tomorrow before they can afford Usmamane's ticket. Maybe they'll have to work for the rest of the day to be able to afford an Uber. You know, so that's 2 days' work just to afford an Uber and a ticket to go watch your favorite star. The people that you're asking for money don't have it. The people that you're now marketing yourself to, they don't have it. The only thing that you've got is the fact that when you go outside, people scream your name, young kids like you, your friends are getting the attention of all the girls in your neighborhood, wherever your entourage is, right? Those are the things that maybe are exciting about this newfound fame, but it's not developing you. It's not helping you. It's not helping you earn where you could be having a higher earning potential with people who've got more disposable income, right? So I asked him a question. What would you rather have? Would you rather have 2,000 people at your show or 20 people in a show in a country with a higher standard of living where you're earning money? He says, no, I'd rather have 2,000 people. I said, no, that's wrong. Because that 20 people per show doesn't mean that's the last time you'll ever perform in your life. You start with 20 people. You can eventually get to a level where you're getting more and more people. In fact, I don't want to go to any of your shows as Usmaman. He's like, what? What do you mean? You don't want to come to Durban to come see me at a show? I say, when you've got a show at SOBs in New York, I'll even buy a ticket. I'll fly there if I'm not around. You got a show in wherever, I'll fly there. Why? Because that's the mecca, right? Of this hip hop thing that you're doing. That's the number one market. That's what I see in you. That's the potential I see in you. When I see you at Back to the City, I see something that I believe has got potential to be even further than it is right now, sitting right in front of me. And that is heartbreaking for me. And it's something I cannot hide. It's something I cannot, you know what I mean?